Hello, hello, Henny Jackson. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, Maddie Cook. How are you?
I am grand, thank you. It also makes me laugh. Yeah, mint. Yeah, good week, thank you. We're in February.
Yeah,
Can you believe it?
I know. I know. I love
Mad
February
times.
because January's over.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fair point. December's done, January's out, end of tax year, got all of that trying to get over with,
hmm
and then it's like a nice little pre-spring, end of winter time lush.
All of that. We're rushing towards March, which just couldn't be it's just even better.
I know it's my birthday month, March.
Mine
So
too.
oh yeah, yours is like just before mine,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Yeah. When's
Oh,
yours?
31st.
Yeah,
When's
27th.
yours?
Well, that's
Aries as
exciting.
well.
Eyes. Aries
Ah,
energy.
nice. Yeah, we all be such classic Aries, aren't we? This is where everyone messages going, oh yeah, I knew that already.
Yes, of course you are.
Lush. We are the leaders. I love it, as I should be. So, today, Haley, I've got a hot topic for you. I
Of
thought
course.
let's just kick off today. And I want to talk about a divide that we're seeing in the industry. I feel like over COVID, it seemed to get worse, and then afterwards, it's been getting further and further. So, what I'm talking about is the divide between, or the perceived divide between freelancers and salon owners. It feels very us and them.
Ooh,
It feels very
yes.
pick a side.
hmm
Are we good to talk about that? Does that sound good?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
because I have feelings. I have strong
Don't we always?
feelings. I
when do
have
we
strong
when do we not
feelings
have
about
strong
this.
feelings?
Yes,
Um,
and I'd love to share
s-
them.
cool. Okay, so let's start off with a very strong feeling. I have seen this is not verbatim, but it's as close as verbatim because I just couldn't be asked to go and find it, and it would have just pissed me off. But I have seen freelancers being referred to as parasites.
Oh, I
I
remember
have
this.
seen, yeah, I have seen people who work from home as women working in kitchens and sheds with their dogs and kids running around their feet.
Dogs running round their ankles. Yes, I remember that
Yeah.
one as well.
Sidebar interests
It's
me too,
disgraceful.
dudes. But whatever, we'll put that to one side. Tell me what you're
Yeah,
seeing.
well, I just feel, first of all, I feel raging because I just think, can you ever imagine someone saying, men working from home with kids running around their ankles? I feel
Never.
there's a misogyny underneath that as well, which, is another
Oh
layer
yeah.
of why it gets on my nerves.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
women are freelancers, and I just think that's not true. I know loads of male freelancers. And so I
Yeah, but they
just,
don't have dog running around the feet.
yeah, and they're probably not. And it's like, what are they not doing the childcare? I don't know. The whole thing just gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
Um, and so that is a problem. Yeah, what I'm noticing around this is that a lot of salon owners, well, I see this, salon owners are feeling attacked. And
Mm.
I feel like there's some delightful salon owners out there who are feeling like they're being painted as the bad guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like freelancers are the underdog, salon owners
Hmm.
are the bad guys. And I think
Yeah.
that's also unfair,
Hmm.
that side of things. I think there's just some awful stereotyping. I don't even know if it's stereotyping. I don't think that's the word. There's just some really awful things being thrown around describing
Yeah.
how people are. But I think that a lot of salon owners have started to feel quite defensive because they feel like they're being attacked and
Hmm.
being portrayed as people who are not paying people enough, people who are not
Hmm.
doing whatever, just
Hmm.
working people to the bone. And I think that's just not true for everybody at all. And so
Yeah.
I think that that's provoking feelings in people.
Yeah. Totally.
And so when there's people out there saying stuff, you can, I don't know, I think it can start exacerbating all of this sort of stuff.
Hmm.
That's what I think. It's
Yeah.
getting vague, but I just think no one's feeling great about this. Is the bottom line of that.
Yeah.
Freelancers are feeling like they're being made the bad guys. Salon owners are feeling like they're being made the bad guys, and these are all just people trying to make a
Yeah.
living.
Yeah, just trying to do the
you know,
best with what they've
against
got.
a lot of
Yeah.
difficult odds at the moment. And so I just
Hmm.
think that this sort of carry on isn't helpful for anyone's mental health,
Hmm.
well-being, industry, business, none of that. That's what I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like just to talk about the specifics of things that are kind of coming up on both sides is like there's a thing around around VAT. Like if you have staff, you're going to hit the VAT threshold. We can't compete with a salon struggle to compete with a freelancer. But on the flip side, I know freelancers who are VAT registered, so it's not
I do.
necessarily like. And then there's a whole salon owners with staff versus salon owners with renters, which is a whole topic for another day.
Oh, there's
A
another one.
disguised
Yeah, there's another
employment.
faction we could put into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, where
yeah,
everyone's looking outwards at
yeah. And
why
there's
they're struggling,
yeah.
and I think it can sometimes feel good to have someone to blame. And
Oh,
I see
completely.
a lot of
Yeah,
that
totally.
on all sides of
Yeah,
people wanting to blame other people, and
yeah.
I don't love it, and I'm not actually sure anybody loves it, but I
No.
don't like it at all. But I think the VAT thing is really being um, used in a way, isn't it, to really define
Yeah.
this divide?
Yeah, and on
And I'm
that
not
note,
sure
I
I'm
think,
into it.
yeah, what I would say to our lovely listener is be mindful of who this is coming from, because there are people who are very, very vocal on this and all topics, um, who have a vested interest in changing people's minds, or who have a vested interest in stoking that divide because they make money from it, or they're trying to sell
Yeah,
something that is for this particular, to they're trying to create a problem to sell to that problem. So they're going to make it feel like the problem seems loads worse than it is. And it gives me like big Tory
yeah,
government vibes of like divide and conquer. Like, look at those
all of
people on a
this.
boat. Oh, we're just going to close down all of the schools and the hospitals. But it's the people on the boat's fault. Look at them. Look at them. And yeah, it's Tory energy
It
for me.
is.
I'm not about it.
I absolutely agree. I just think this divide and conquer thing, when you get people fighting amongst themselves, they're worrying about the wrong things. And
Yeah,
I just,
exactly.
but also I think this, Maddie, people are just doing it for engagement.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, really boring thing that people do on social media is whip up a storm, get a load of
Yeah.
engagement. And so and people are tired and, they're worried about money and stuff. And it's really brilliant when you see someone just find someone for you to blame. And so I
Yeah.
see it coming from all sides and I don't love it at
Hmm.
all. But I
Hmm.
think, I mean, me and you've talked privately about this a fair amount over the last few months, I think, really, haven't we? And what we're seeing, and made some decisions based on this and really works things out. But I think it's fair to say that for a while we bought into the divide. I definitely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely some
Like
elements of it.
I
Yeah, for sure.
I felt like this is how I felt. I felt it was political,
Hmm.
and it had to be careful.
Yeah.
And so how that showed up for me was that I had two memberships. I've got two
Hmm.
memberships. And so I've got a resilient hairdresser, a resilient salon owner, and a resilient freelancer. And for I thought to myself, these people have different problems, and I'm
Hmm.
not sure I want to put them together in a Facebook group and have to
Hmm.
manage that based on
Yeah.
what I was seeing in other Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And so I just thought to myself, oh, the best way to take care of these people would be to keep them apart and then
Mm.
solve their individual problems. But I just sort of think, no, I'm
Mhm.
not really into that anymore. But I really, I think I was nervous of having to manage arguments,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
I
I can
see.
second
And,
to
and
that.
I, yeah, and I think to be fair though, the more I think about it, is the people that are attracted to my work are not really into that sort of thing,
Yeah.
But I think I was influenced by things I didn't like in Facebook groups, things like all the stuff we talked about, the parasites and all that, and the VAT arguments.
Yeah.
I just thought I don't want that in my world, and
Mhm.
so I think a slightly fear-based decision. In some ways, it was smart because I wanted to talk to salon owners about leadership, and
Mhm.
freelancers didn't really need to worry about that. But there was a real element of I don't want to manage that. And
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I had a similar when I was coming up with Breakthrough, which was like I think my first cohort was the back end of 22. And so Breakthrough is a group coaching program. You coach inside of it, so you know what it is. But for
I
anyone who doesn't,
do.
it's for people who are fully booked who want to drop a day a week behind the chair without sacrificing any profit. It's a 6 month long program. And when I first made it, I was just like adamant it was for freelancers because I'd again done the same thing, and I thought salon owners' problems is around recruitment, it's around staff, it's around leadership, and that's somewhere that I don't feel like super strong. And I'd usually go and see Hilly for leadership, or wherever for like recruitment stuff. And so I made my messaging like really. I think I specifically said it's for freelancers. And it was funny because I got one salon owner in the first one. Shout out Josie, who we love, and
Oh,
she. I
lovely
love
Josie.
Josie so much, and she came in and and I just was really honest with her. I said, there'll be nothing to do with leadership. There'll be nothing to do with, you know, recruitment. They kind of was in a roundabout way through the market and stuff, but and actually Josie was such a great lesson for me because I was like, it still works. It like validated that it worked for salon owners,
Mm-hmm.
and actually that salon owners have a lot of the same challenges as business owners that freelancers do. So
All of this.
second time round, I was
Exactly
like,
this.
okay, salon owners can come in, and I had like pretty much a 50-50 split. I think it was maybe 6 and 4 of the other, or maybe even was half and half. And actually, I've been lucky to work with some incredible salon owners inside of Breakthrough. I know some of which you've worked with too. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that I found it so helpful to see evidence of amazing, really driven, really caring, really empathetic salon owners because again, looking at other groups, had seen, because I was seeing these big divisive posts, I was under the impression that actually a lot of salon owners wanted, some on the extreme side were like exploitative, wanted to pay people nothing, disguise employment. So I was so pleased to get to work really closely with
Yeah.
amazing salon owners. And on the same side, there's
Mm-hmm.
freelancers who are total arseholes as well, I imagine. So I think this is the point, is that it's like your model doesn't put you into that pot, just who you are as a person puts you into that pot.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just have all of them
it's not
now.
great being it's not great being put in a box, is it?
No, no,
And
no.
I think that based on what we were seeing, we made decisions that we've both decided against. And so,
Yeah.
breakthrough just happened, didn't it? People just salon owners started joining, and you were like, oh, this is
Yeah,
fine.
I had no choice. Yeah.
But it's interesting because originally when I set up my memberships, I only
Hmm.
wanted one. I wanted the
Yeah.
resilient hairdresser, but I couldn't figure it out at the time how I was going to do that. And so I got
Yeah.
two, and and it's been brilliant, and I've really enjoyed both.
Hmm.
But I've come to the conclusion and actually figured out how to do one,
Hmm.
and so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just well, they're not necessarily getting combined. There's going to be the resilient hairdresser membership, and it will
Hmm.
run more like the freelancer one has always run.
Hmm.
But anyone can join. Basically, if you're a hairdresser, you can join. And
Hmm.
that's how I want to run it now, because what I've realized was the way I was supporting salon owners was more with leadership.
Hmm.
And there's lots of salon owners out there who are like, I've got that covered. I just need to look after my own self-care. And
Yeah.
what I'm really passionate about in lots of ways is empowering people to put their self-care first, and we focus more on that in the freelancer one. And I
Hmm.
thought, and I hear all the time salon owners are like, can I join the freelancer one? And I just thought, I figured it out now how to combine them and just
Yeah.
have the resilient hairdresser membership. And so going forward, I will have one. I will have
Yeah.
salon owners and freelancers all in a Facebook
Yay.
group. There's all sorts of different parts to the membership. There's lives
Yeah.
and there's recorded lessons and whatnot. But there's the chat that goes on is in a Facebook group. And I just think, I don't know what I was worried about, because the focus of
Yeah.
my membership is self-care and
Yeah.
boundaries
And I
and the
think when you see
day-to-day
them,
stress.
yeah, when you see them all together, like I remember um facilitate we have like a mastermind call, and it was in the second cohort, so that was the one that was remixed. And actually seeing how each type of a person from different models showed up for each other was just amazing, because it
Yes.
was not from a place of, or I've had that done to me and that felt bad, or you should feel sorry for your staff member or whatever. It was like with such sort of grace and compassion and empathy and genuinely wanting to help and offering different perspective, but in this really non-judgmental way. And I think that's also testament to the spaces that me and you curate, because we're very, very mindful about
Yeah.
the culture of our spaces and the
Yeah.
sort of what's the expectations and how people are,
Yeah, what's
responsible.
okay, what's not,
Yeah,
how you allow. I have rules about how
yeah, and we
people are
were
allowed to
kind of
talk to each other and stuff.
we were comparing it to like the Wild West unmoderated Facebook
Yeah.
groups where everyone's like kicking off, and we're like,
That's the
actually no,
mistake. Yeah,
yeah,
that doesn't happen. And I think what's been really interesting is when I announced to the freelancers that the group would be opening up and becoming the resilient hairdresser group, and that meant anyone could join, which meant salon owners would join. That actually what people said to me was, "Oh, I'm really excited about that, because I like to hear when I have got a question, I like to hear lots of people's views
yeah,
who are doing different
yeah,
things. That's more helpful." And I was
yeah.
like, great. That's what I was
Good.
hoping for. Yeah,
Yeah,
the mass walkout did not happen. But
good.
it's just so interesting, isn't it? How I think me and you both didn't think about how we do manage spaces, and containers would be the therapy word for that.
Yeah,
But that,
yeah,
when we bring groups of people together, we manage that well, with
yeah,
intention. We don't just
yeah.
chuck a load of people in a Facebook group and let them go at each other,
Fight to the death.
and
Yeah,
there's actually, yeah, and there's people not coming in to moan, they're coming in for support, and
yeah,
people are so supportive of each other. I see it every day and it's so delightful. And so I'm excited about the fact I've just got one membership now. I think that's great
yeah.
for
Me
my
too.
brain.
Yeah,
But I think it's great for everybody in there to sort of
yeah,
hear more people's experiences and really show up for each other. So it's all very
yeah.
exciting.
Totally.
It's all
I've
very
loved being
exciting.
in. I'm very excited. I'm thrilled for you. I really like being in spaces, and again, I hadn't really connected this dot. The groups and like masterminds and stuff that I've been in, I've loved that they're non-industry, because I think it's so helpful to get, especially people in different countries, different backgrounds, different cultures,
Yeah.
different business models. I see so much help in, seeing how they apply it to their business and go, oh my God, we'd never thought of that, because I think it can become really echo
Yes.
chambery when everyone's sort of the same. And what makes me laugh on reflection is
Yes.
the crazy thing is I've been all of them. So I don't know why I ever thought like this, because I've been a salon owner, I've had a salon owner with staff, salon owner with renters, partnership, non-partnership, VAT registered, not freelancer,
Mm-hmm.
mobile, working
Mm-hmm.
from the kitchen with me non-existent dogs and kids, with your
Yeah.
cat.
I've had
And
cats running around my ankles, I'll be honest, when I've been
yeah,
doing hair.
we have. We're the cat lady, the parasitic cat ladies. And yeah, like I would never think that I was necessarily like a different person in each of them. There's just different ways of running the business. So yeah, like the gist of it is there's no, for me, there's no wrong model. It's just about what works for you. I think as always, we have to take responsibility. I do think we have to adapt. I think a big part of this has come from when people haven't adapted and things have changed, and then it's easy to blame another, or to point fingers, or to be pushed into those divisions. But we see some salon owners who have adapted incredibly well, and who I think
Yeah.
aren't part of that discussion, because they're like, well, yes, we just had to make some changes, but we've done those, and now this really works for us.
Yeah.
And that same
Yeah.
goes if you're
They're not
freelance. You have to adapt anyway. Especially now.
all of that, all of that. I sort of think, although there are things that salon owners need to worry about that, let's say, mobile hairdressers don't, but there
Yeah,
are still things that bring us all together as hairdressers, and I'm
yeah,
interested in those things.
yes,
In
absolutely.
particularly in the membership, is that having a group of people come together to support each other with the things that bind us together, not the
Yeah.
things that make us different. And so, oh, it's all a joy, isn't it, my
Oh,
dear?
you've just
And it
warmed me
is.
cockles there, Jepson.
But I
I'm
think
thrilled.
it's this, that there are real things that bind us together as hairdressers, whether you're a salon owner, a mobile, a chair renter, renting out chairs, whatever.
Hmm.
There's sorts of people that are attracted to the work that I do and the work that you
Yeah,
do. And I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah, the door's open. If you're
yeah,
interested in what I do I just want you to be able to come in. I want to make it easy. Not,
Yeah.
and then be thinking, I want a bit from that and a bit from that. But I
Yeah.
just think there are certain sorts of people, aren't there? And it's interesting because I've never been a salon owner. That's the only thing I've not been really. I've done all sorts of things. I've been employed, self-employed. I've had a home salon. I've been mobile. I've rented chairs. I've been an educator.
Mm-hmm.
I've done all sorts of things. But what I really noticed when I started coaching salon owners was that there are so many absolutely brilliant ones out there. And if you
Yeah.
only look in Facebook groups, you won't think that.
Well, because
You
they're
will
usually not
think
in
that,
Facebook groups.
you
Doing
just,
their thing.
they are painted as the bad guys quite a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
I found it really warming is one of the best words I can think of, to speak to so many salon owners whose the well-being of their staff was so front of mind for them.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
realised that if you don't look after your staff, you've not got a business.
Yeah.
No hairdressers to cut hair, no
Mm-hmm.
business. And they were really working on that. And so I really loved it. I really
Mm-hmm.
loved it to just see these salon owners really care about their staff. It's
Yeah.
nice to see. But in the main, I only work with salon owners like that because the sort of people who are attracted to my work care about mental health and well-being. And so the people who are maybe not doing such of a delightful job, they think what I do is stupid anyway, Maddie. So
Yeah. They'd roll
they're
their
not
eyes,
even
but then
really
they'd,
in my world.
no, no,
Yeah, they
no.
roll their eyes at me. And so it's so interesting. I feel so hopeful quite a lot because the people I work with want to do really good stuff around that
Yeah.
stuff. And so I
We've
always
like
feel really hopeful.
made like really good echo chambers where I'm like, everyone's so lovely and everyone's working really hard and
Yeah, everything
empathetic and
can be good.
everyone gives a shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is nice. I mean, I'm not complaining.
But
I'd much rather be in that space than in the, pits
yeah,
spirally. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it means that like the people in my membership, if they're having a bad day, they're surrounded by other people who are doing the same stuff and maybe not having a bad day. And they
Yeah.
remember, oh yeah, it isn't awful. Things can be good.
Yeah.
We carry on and
And I
stuff
think
like that. And so
that's,
it's nice to look around, isn't it, and
yeah.
see people doing good stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe a nice lesson to kind of end on is be mindful of the people that you're around and that you're spending your energy with, and are
Yes.
they the people where you like aspire to be like them, whether or not they're in the same model, but do you have the same values and traits and how you want to treat other people and be treated? And if you're finding yourself
Mm-hmm.
getting pulled into like the drama and the hate and the division, maybe find spaces where, in particular your membership,
Yeah.
spaces where you're going to get like pulled up rather than pulled back down. I think that's so important now.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that. I just think if you're feeling sad and angry every time you're going to certain Facebook groups, come out.
Leave. Yeah,
People put me
yeah,
in Facebook groups all the time, and I take myself
yes.
back out for
Yeah.
my own sanity.
I feel honoured that you're in mine. I'm always like, go and see Hilly.
I mean yours. I mean Emma's. I think that's it.
Yeah, I feel very privileged. Thank you.
My Facebook group's private. It's part of a membership. It's not open at all. So mine's
Yeah,
different. But free Facebook groups,
odd.
I think if they're not managed well, they just make you feel they really add to your stress and
Yeah.
your worldview. And so I think really be careful of that. Yeah,
No,
that's what I
totally
think.
agreed. Shall we sling your link in the show notes for everyone so they can go and find you?
Yes.
Yeah, go and find a
Yes.
membership.
Yeah. If
Amazing.
you want to read more about the Resilient Hairdresser membership, you want accountability around self-care, work on your boundaries, all that stuff, go check out the membership 2.0.
Go in and kick off
and go see
massively.
what's happening. Put
Not
me
really.
under loads of stress.
Yeah, no, behave yourself. Amazing. I'm gonna sling a breakthrough link in because it's not open now, but it will be soon. So I'll just put that in, and anyone can have a little peruse about things.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love this. I love a nice little chin wag with you. Should we do hyperfocus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you got?
I've got one. Yes. I've got one that I would say it's in the very early stages of hyperfocus. I've
Yeah.
just got into something, and I think it could go. I could go wild,
Right.
and I think it's going to be one of them where I'm going to get all involved, and then it's going to be over. That's how it's going to go. But
Okay.
all my friends. This is what people won't know about me. A lot of my friends outside of the industry all work in museums. That's my friend group, right?
Yeah.
And so they're all obsessed with history, and so they're really good when you go on holiday and stuff. They tell you all sorts about buildings and things. When you're working around Manchester, they're always full of interesting facts, which is great. But they all listen to the Rest is History podcast, and I just was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not that interested. And then I was having lunch with my friend the other day, and we're all obsessed with Hamilton, as are you as
yes,
well.
Yeah.
And
Big
she
fan.
was. Yeah, and we were chatting about Hamilton, as is often the case, and she was saying to me, "Oh, there's a really interesting episode in The Rest is History about the American Revolution, which is basically what Hamilton's all about."
Yeah.
And she was sort of talking to me about what's true and what's not, and she said it's a really interesting listen. So I downloaded it, I listened, and I thought, I'm in. It's a really interesting podcast, and I like it because it's just about nothing. Nothing in my life. It's not business. It's not hair. It's not mental health. It's nothing in my usual vein. And I feel like it's making me smarter, Maddie.
Well,
like just knowing some stuff.
Yeah.
I could go. My pub quiz is going to get, my pub quiz situation is going to get better. But I feel like it's really interesting in a way that I've not been interested in stuff for a while. So I've downloaded a few episodes that sort of made me feel excited. So I went for the American Revolution first, but I've also downloaded one about Hitler and the Mitford sisters, because I've always been a bit interested in that sort of carry on. Do you know about Hitler and the Mitford sisters?
I've heard about Hitler, not about Mitford sisters.
No, you don't know about the Mitford sisters? We'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like socialites. They were socialites, donkeys ago, when there's always rumours that they had affiliations to the Nazis. So I'd like to hear the true story about that. I have read a few books about that. So this is where I am, Maddie. I think it's fair to say this is going to turn into a full-on hyper-focus.
Yeah, I'm excited. I would love the link for the American Revolution, because, also big fan.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's in a two-parter.
Okay.
It's in a two-parter.
Yeah, I love it.
It's good. Yeah, so The Rest is History podcast.
Okay,
that's it.
What about you? Get into it. So mine, as mine kind of come full circle. I feel like I had one a while ago about, I think it was maybe over the autumn time, of like the autumn smells. I love a cinnamon Yankee candle shenanigan.
Yes.
So yeah,
pumpkin spice, everything.
Yeah, everything.
So February. What does February smell of, Maddie?
I'll tell you what February smells of. So it escalated as to all of my interests, special interests, and I got into wanting to have an electric diffuser, because I went to my friend's one day and she has the one from the White Company, and I was like, ooh, it's really nice. I feel like I can't trust myself sometimes with candles and ADHD and leaving rooms and forgetting what I've left in the room. So I thought, this feels a little bit more safe for me, that I'll not burn my house down. And I was in a local shop, and they had is it neon?
Ooh,
is that what it
bougie.
Fancy. It was bougie.
Nice.
There's a bit of a sale on, so I was like, say no more. I'll put it in the basket.
Oh, the neon one's pretty.
Very nice. It's like a long, sort of tall one. And anyway,
Is it
funny
white
story.
or black?
It's white, like off-white. And I was in my waxing lady's place, and it's her waxing place is called Lemongrass and Ginger. Shout out to Heather. And her place always smells absolutely amazing. And I said, Heather, this place always smells amazing. What smell is in the thing? And she was like, lemongrass and ginger. I was like, oh. I felt like, you're right, divvy. So then she had some lemongrass flavour smell. So straight away I was like, give me that, put that on my bill. So February smells like lemongrass, but I have a top tip for you and our listeners, which is, don't put cups of coffee near the diffuser, because the smell pops into it. And it is minging. It wasn't me, it was Aidan. Aidan drinks a black coffee, and he went to take a sip of it, and he just starts going like spitting it back out. Yeah,
lemongrass and coffee is not a classic combination.
Not a nice combo. Maybe if it was like a salted caramel or something like that.
Yeah, so
So
you've got like
put
the
things
one you
stuff in
put
it.
water in it,
Yeah, and it like poofs out the
water in your
top.
drops.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got them all over the house.
They are
I had
amazing,
a
especially if
full
you've
on
got cats.
obsession.
Yeah.
I had a full on
Um,
obsession of those, but I want
oh,
to
maybe they
raise
need
you,
to come
Maddie.
back.
I've seen,
Oh, okay.
yeah, a erasure. I've seen this
uh,
new one on Instagram because Instagram sells amazingly well to me, where you literally just put your essential oil straight in
oh,
and you don't have to put the water in.
one less
And I was
step.
like, ooh, one less
Efficient.
step. Why would you not like it? So as mine break, I might replace it with those. But I think, do you put ginger in with your lemongrass?
No, I don't because I couldn't find a ginger, or there was one on Amazon and it would have taken like 3 weeks to get in. So it is just lemongrass at the
No
moment.
one's got time for that. Yeah,
No.
it's just reminded me I've got a ginger essential oil somewhere and I can't remember
Oh,
what I
lush.
used to mix it with. It might be like grapefruit. I think I used to
Oh,
do
I
grapefruit
love a
and ginger.
grapefruit. Very
Oh,
fresh, Haley. That's a spring
yeah.
fragrance if I've ever heard one.
Mine, yeah. I basically like eucalyptus all
Hmm.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it to smell like what does my friend call it? Something like an Austrian spa. That's what she says my house smells like.
Yeah, I hope you do a spa voice when people come in. Not regular voice,
Yes,
but like,
always.
welcome, Babs
Welcome.
and Jan.
Welcome. Yes. Babs and Jan are going to take care of you today.
They're like, wow, screaming. I love it. Well, we've now got plenty more to talk about between Hitler and the
Yes,
Misfit
between
sisters and
episodes.
smells and all sorts of things. As always, I'll be with you in the voice notes in about 30 seconds to further discuss these
Yes.
things.
I'll see you in the voice notes.
Lush, amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Haley. I've loved chatting.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments.
Please support those who support us and check out Timely, who we recommend as our favourite booking system for you. New customers can get 50% off their first 3 months with a code COFFEE50.